explore America's relationship with marijuana.
That might help me.
See me after the
Medicinal.
Medicinal. Yes, thank you.
Well, spoiler alert, America's relationship with marijuana is a muddled mess. Possession and use remains a crime at the federal level and in some states. Many states, including Florida, fortunately, regulate it for marijuana use, or for medical use, while other states allow people to buy it for recreational use as well. Now, beyond state laws, each county and city seems to be deciding how they want to treat violators. Currently, the state's attorney for Broward County isn't investigating or prosecuting any arrests for under 20 grams of marijuana. Wilton Manors City Commission has updated how it treats minor marijuana infractions of under 20 grams. Instead of fines stretching into the hundreds of dollars, now each offense will be $25 plus confiscation of the contraband. Now, the citation won't be forwarded to state or county authorities, though it could still show up if someone did a very specific background check and looked at anyone's particular criminal history in Wilton Manors. This as the city welcomes businesses selling CBD and Delta 8 strain products. So, what's the point of even policing it? The answer, it gives officers the ability to do further searches on individuals and their possessions. It's important to note this doesn't affect anyone with a Florida medical marijuana card, but you better have it and be prepared to show it. And you can learn more about this story tomorrow online or on stands in SFGN. And the reason I think this is important is because our marijuana laws have disproportionately affected certain groups of people.
People of color.
Mm-hmm. People of color.
The poor.
Mm-hmm. The poor, yes. And this is just sending so many mixed signals. And why are we still caring about this? And I really haven't been able to get a straight answer from anyone. I'm not putting Wilton Manors on blast because they just happen to be the hook for this story. It's just insane.
It is.
And it hurts people. And I'm going to need to
Can I
take
try
something.
to give you an answer?
I'm going to have to take something after this show.
Me too, by the way. At my therapy session, I think. The reason is because it has been easier for politicians at whatever level to focus on things that are far less relevant than the things that are really important and relevant. And as a result, locking up or managing through law enforcement, people of color, disadvantaged in terms of economic position, the neighborhoods of where you live. If you're in a great white neighborhood, you're not worried about this law. Even if it was enforceable on you, you're not worrying about it because they're not even going to try to find out if you're violating the law. If you live in a poor person of color or other marginalized neighborhood, you have to worry about this. And over the last 40 years, we filled our prisons and our jails with a management from, I dare say it, principally privileged white people that have said, this is how we will manage you. And as a result, these are why we have these kind of ridiculous laws. Contradictory laws.
Contradictory and interesting because even when they try to say it's legal, you can't be under the influence and drive, and you can't go to work like that. And there's so many places you still can't be, right? And so when you said it's a muddled mess, it's like, well, even if someone uses it for medicinal purposes, they can't come to work high.
You're still driving impaired, and you can easily be arrested for that, Paul, for sure. But I've got, I'm from the hood, and I've got friends that are still in jail for carrying some, okay? And they weren't selling; they were just about to have a little party, and got caught with it, and were put in jail for a substantial amount of time, Paul, that completely affected their future lives. So they were already marginalized, they were already in debt, they were already having financial issues. This happened, now they could never get a regular steady job. So what? They go back to what they know, which is bad.
There's very, very bright people in uber liberal progressive areas, the think tanks around Cambridge, Massachusetts, for example, that have said that structurally we fractured American society in the 1970s when we began to change these kind of drug policy laws, that the reaction to the 1960s anything goes reaction of privileged white America changed in the 1970s to say, no, we're not going to allow people of color, we're not going to allow queer, we're not going to allow the poor to have unfettered access in these ways and change the laws. And they started to fill our jails and our prisons and enforcements of arrests in these kind of ways and had a dramatic effect on all of these populations. because of an overreaction to fear. I'm scared at what I'm watching. Free sex, oh God forbid. Low-cost drugs, oh God forbid. And as a result, it was an overreaction of the fear of white privileged society to do exactly what you just said. And these are the consequences 30, 40, 50 years later.
I think your conversation is very interesting as well, because in order for them to legalize marijuana, they have to let a lot of people out of jail. You can't legally sell marijuana and allow so many people to have access and leave people in prison for life. And so they're stuck, right? Because they don't want to empty the prisons, because a lot of them make a lot of money off those prisons.
And God forbid make the accusation, to your point, we can't do that, because what would happen if all of these people poured out of prisons and their voting rights were restored? Oh my God, they would vote for liberal Democratic candidates.
But there's where President Obama missed a golden opportunity, if you want to look at it like that. I was hoping that in his last days in office, he would grant an across-the-board pardon to anybody who was serving marijuana sentence over, X level of possession. He didn't, and for whatever reason, I have no idea. It's incredibly discouraging.
Marijuana should not be lumped in with all other drugs. Okay, marijuana is not like cocaine. All right. All right.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire